Hello there, my movie peeps. Appreciate you clicking on this video. We've got some movie news to discuss, so let's get into it. Some of the things we'll be looking into here today is we got the announcement of a brand new Chucky movie coming in the works, finally. Some new details on the Fantastic Four that could be exciting, but also has me a little mixed. The announcement of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3 in the works. Oh, that along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave your opinions down below, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And just as a quick shameless plug, I'm gonna do a little Twitch stream tonight of some other smaller movie news I couldn't fit into this side flick. Things like talking about the Bambi horror movie trailer they played in front of Winnie the Pooh 2, an article with Melissa Barrera that better details her firing from Scream 7, even her refusing to comment on Neve Campbell being cast in the new movie, diving into the negative reviews for Godzilla x Kong and seeing why critics hate it so much, a small update in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie universe, just like a bunch of little things I wanted to dive into. And if you can't make it to the stream, just subscribe to the Clip channel because I'll make clips of each one of those topics. But alright, with further ado, let's dive into our first movie news story here, and that is earlier in the week we got released the first trailer for Bad Boys 4. This is titled Bad Boys Ride or Die. They completely messed up the last two Bad Boy movies because their catchphrase usually goes, "We ride together, we die together, bad boys for life." But they named the third movie Bad Boys for Life, and now this fourth movie is Ride or Die. Well, we'll let it slide. And honestly, guys, I think this trailer looks like a lot of fun. The Bad Boy movies are never heightened pieces of cinema, but here you could tell they're trying to emulate the style a little bit more from the Michael Bay era of Bad Boy movies. The dynamic between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith is still really funny. I love that little scene of him going to the convenience store, and even though he's being robbed, Will Smith is more pissed that he grabbed Skittles. That's something I can relate to. You could also tell they're really trying to make this into more of like a Fast and Furious type universe, where it's really expanding out more elaborate action sequences, bringing in some recurring characters like Will Smith's long lost son. I think also the fact that it's rated R helps it stand apart from Fast and Furious. They can do things they couldn't over there. Yeah, I'm down for this. There was even one shot in here where I was like, man, I can't believe the directors of this movie were about to make a Batgirl film, and now we won't see whatever magic they had up their sleeve. So I'm actually gonna give this a treasure. I'm not expecting much. I just kind of want to laugh and see some cool action sequences. But how are you guys feeling about the trailer for Bad Boys Ride or Die? And speaking of little video teases, last night out of nowhere, Florence Pugh, our Yelena in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, revealed a little set video of her on the set of Thunderbolts. Now, I'm not gonna say too much was revealed in this little set video, but I gotta say, I don't remember Marvel ever really doing this, where this is how they like make the announcement to the world and start the hype train going for Thunderbolts. Especially if you watch the thing in its entirety, it feels very haphazardly made and kind of awkward, with Florence Pugh not being really sure what to show anybody.
Jake. This is Jake, our director.
Hi, everybody.
What are we allowed to say we're doing?
I don't think you're even allowed to be doing this.
But a couple of things fans are noticing about this Thunderbolts video is, one, the title seems to have an asterisk. Even when Marvel's social pages talks about Thunderbolts, they add that asterisk, and that's going to be curious to see why they decided to change the title to Thunderbolts asterisk. Usually an asterisk indicates that there's more information provided on this. I don't think I've ever really seen it used in a title of a movie. Maybe this just means Thunderbolts isn't the final title they'll go with, but we'll see. Other things people have noticed is the caption that Florence Pugh made during this post, because it looks like she used emojis to symbolize characters in this film, and while some of these emojis are very obvious to who they're talking about, there's some others that have people a little puzzled. Like going off here, obviously the Thunderbolts are for Sentry, the ghost in here will represent Ghost, the metal arm is for Bucky, the spider for Black Widow, a skull for Taskmaster, a shield for Red Guardian, but these other emojis like the snowflake, a cactus, a comet, and a guy with a beard, it's like, who exactly are they talking about? Who really knows? Right now, I'm not even sure how to gauge the excitement for the Thunderbolts, because although it's a movie I'm looking forward to and I do want to see, Marvel hype has been going down lately. I feel it online as someone who tries to milk views off that stuff. They don't rack in the views they used to. Trust me. But I throw it off to you guys. You know, you see this little set video. What do you make of the title change? The little emojis, who could they represent? And your hype level on the Thunderbolts. And well, another movie that might be a little immune to the hype level is the MCU's new Fantastic Four. This is one after Deadpool and Wolverine that I'm for sure looking forward to, and I want to see how they pull it off. And well, there was like a small rumor I had heard a long time ago about this movie, but I didn't hear anyone else really bring it back up until now, where reliable scooper Daniel RPK JK mentions that the Fantastic Four will reportedly take place in an alternate universe, and filming is set to begin August in London. Oh, I remember hearing that, and I was like, that might be able to work. I can understand why they would do that, and now it's looking like that is going to be the case. So not only are we going to have the Fantastic Four set in the 1960s during the space program, and them probably being astronauts and addressing how they got their powers, but the alternate universe thing I think is also fascinating. Now, I think there's some positives and negatives to go with this. On the positive side, they're not weighed down by Marvel lore. If anything, now they can go as crazy and as wild as they want. They don't have to remember what's been set up, what superhero does and doesn't exist at this time. They could honestly just do anything. Treat it like an old superhero movie back in the day where they were the only ones around and that was just fun. But then on the negative side of that, it's not staying that way forever. Just because they're in an alternate universe doesn't mean they're not coming to the MCU. It's very obvious that the MCU is leading to Secret Wars. And the rumor is, just like in the comics, they're going to treat Secret Wars as a way to soft reboot the universe. It'll be their way to bring back people like Iron Man or Steve Rogers, Captain America, introduce the X-Men from the beginning, and even have the Fantastic Four as Marvel's first superheroes in the universe. Just because they're in an alternate universe there, after Secret Wars and the world collide, then you could have the Fantastic Four officially part of the MCU. But that's kind of the weird thing for me. Imagine now when you want to go back and you want to watch Captain America 1, Captain America 2, and even Captain America 3, I feel like you could watch those back to back without the movies in between and still really enjoy that experience. This connected universe is starting to really bog down some of these self-contained stories. Imagine having to watch the first movie, you see it, you enjoy it, and then by the time you get to your second movie, they're an entirely different universe. They went through a whole multiverse event. Everything you knew about them in that first universe is gone, and now that's such a huge shift from movie to movie, and there's a whole other gigantic movie that explains that shift. That's one of the reasons I'm kind of looking forward to James Gunn's DCU, because he claims the DCU is not going to be like that there will be interconnected stuff and some little story pieces will be there, but it'll never overshadow the movies or shows themselves. So I don't know, we'll see, but I'm kind of excited to see them be in their own universe, and heck, for all we know, the course of the movie, they could end up in the MCU by the end of it. The negative zone could work as a hub for multiverse travel for all we know. Let me know what you guys think about the Fantastic Four being set in their own universe. Bringing us now to talk about some horror movies. The past couple of days, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 has been in theaters. It's been really interesting to see the reactions. Obviously, that 100% on Rotten Tomatoes has severely dropped to a more reasonable score that makes sense. But even with that more reasonable score, it's nice to see the people who saw the first movie, thought that was atrocious, and then actually go into the second movie and be like, that was kind of fun. I think I'll post my spoiler review on the second movie come tomorrow. I was just waiting for its 3 days in theaters to go by, that way I could do it. But until that spoiler review for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, we got the announcement today that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 is officially announced. Variety here has the exclusive, and they write, according to the producers of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3, will have a bigger budget than the previous films, and will introduce new characters from the original Winnie the Pooh stories, including Rabbit, the Huffalumps, and the Woozles. All no doubt be given sadistic, murderous twists. And yeah, if you stayed for the end credits, there's like a slideshow of upcoming characters, and there's this one really puffy, giant, ugly looking monster that a lot of people were leaving my comments going, Chris, what fairy tale creature is that? And well, it's a Heffalump or a Woozle. This is now how deep we're getting into the Winnie the Pooh horror cinematic universe, that they're diving into actual lore from the Winnie the Pooh universe, and I think that's a great thing. I only knew surface level of Winnie the Pooh, his main little friends, and the little bits of cartoons I saw as a kid. I didn't even know what a Heffalump was. And when you look it up, it does say that a Heffalump is kind of like a bad guy in the Winnie the Pooh universe, so it's fun that they can kind of play into that now, and including the rabbit on there will also be fun. I believe he was even on the poster of the Poohniverse movie, and he's holding a carrot as a knife. That's just cool. Just stupid fun. I'm kind of curious to see. We're all well aware these are not good movies, but if they can bring us some fun and joy, I mean, why not watch them, right? I am curious to see, though, how long or how far this cinematic universe will last. I know they have a whole slate and everything, but it only takes 1 or 2 movies to completely flop or people no longer to have an interest, and this could lose its charm super fast. I wouldn't be surprised if Poohniverse is just the end of that universe. But who knows? Maybe they'll get to as many movies as the MCU. How are you guys feeling about Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3? getting announced. Moving on here to something that did get me super excited is it looks like we got the announcement of a new Chucky movie finally being made. You guys know here, I absolutely love that crazy sadistic doll, and with season 3 coming out April 10th, and that is part 2 of season 3. The first part was released last year, but because of the Hollywood strike, they had to cut it in half. And since part 2 of season 3 is about to come out, Don Mancini, the creator of Chucky, was doing a couple of interviews, and in 2 separate interviews, he confirms he's working on a new movie.
I want to keep doing new movies, and in fact, I'm starting to, in the early stages of starting to develop one now.
I'm also actually in the early stages of working on a new Chucky movie.
Now, he clarifies in these interviews that he does not want it to be a reboot. In fact, that he wants it to be a movie that works in tandem with the TV show. So I don't think that exactly means like you have to see the TV show to understand this new movie, but it's technically still in that continuity. And while it is definitely exciting, but there's only a couple of things that would make me absolutely over the moon of this. Number one, I needed to go to theaters, okay? I know the last Child's Play movie that technically went to theaters was the 2019 movie that I actually am a fan of. I like that movie. I think it was a different, fun take on Chucky, and I'm sad we never got a sequel to that, and I'm also grateful to that movie for helping me launch my YouTube career. But when looking at main continuity Chucky, he hasn't had a movie go to theaters since Seed of Chucky, and I understand why that's the last movie in theaters, where the last 2 films, Curse and Cult of Chucky movies I do enjoy, went straight to DVD. Chucky to me is such an iconic, badass, cool killer doll, and I feel like he has just been away from the limelight a little too long. I know his TV show has found some success, and for the most part, people really enjoy his show, me included, but this is not a television character. This is a man that deserves to be on the big screen, have bigger budgets, big ideas, and overall just cool, scary movies. It's such an achievement that Don Mancini has been able to keep the same continuity with main Chucky ever since the first movie. Like, there is a whole storyline and it's all still followed through. But there is a part of me that goes, man, do we kind of need to let go of some of that continuity and lore and maybe start fresh? It's starting to really weigh the franchise down, and it's also the type of thing that it might make some people not want to jump into the franchise because there's so much they have to watch to be able to fully enjoy this new movie. I do think Don Mancini is smart enough, though, not to make it a movie where it's required to do a lot of homework. But still, I wonder what that's gonna look like, especially looking at a recent killer doll like Megan that found great success in theaters. Part of me wonders if Megan's success is what Universal finally looked at Chucky and went, all right, time for him to come back. As always, though, my main wish is to go with the scary, serious route. I know people love their funny Chucky. I love him when he's funny too, but when the funny overshadows the horror, it just loses me a little bit. So we'll wait and see, man. For all we know, this could very well end up going straight to streaming, because that's kind of what straight to DVD is like nowadays. And while I'll definitely be there day one it's released, I want Chucky on top again, man. Let him be king again. That's what I throw off to you guys. You hear Don Mancini's in the early stages of a new Chucky movie. What do you think is going to happen? Anyways, guys, that is all movie news currently have going on right now. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be on the lookout at the Clips channel for other little movie topics. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.